Hello, myself Vijay. I'm one of the tech lead here with Appsfactory. I'm from India and I'm working from last 2 years with Appsfactory. And I have a pleasure today to introduce my department and what we did last year and this year. And if I talk a little bit about my department, Fullstack department, what we do, we mostly work on the backend solutions, like we develop APIs, we work on CI/CD pipelines, we work on infrastructure, we create different networking security related components when the project is big. And we also take care of third-party communications when needed for different projects. So we work everything around in the backend, not just develop APIs. I think last year my colleague Chiagi presented those two things as first in his interview, and those were like Azure Landing Zone and Security Policies Baseline. So if I talk a little bit about them, what are those? It's just a recommendation and framework from Microsoft to set up permissions and manage group in Azure. Like if you have a big company and different BUs, how we want to align the permission. Like one BU may follow different policies for their infrastructure, another BU follow different policies. So we have a Azure Landing Zone, which says, okay, if you have belong to this landing zone, these are the policy that applies to you. What I mean by policy is like where you can create resources, what are the different options you are allowed to choose, what is the naming convention you need to follow, and everything around the resource goes into the policy. And those were the really cool thing we did last year, and we spent a lot of time in that. And one more thing I would like to mention is community gates for static code analysis and checking the vulnerability before the code reaches to the developer and to the environment. So we are using Sonar Cloud in one of our projects now and checking things in the code, vulnerabilities, security bugs, everything. That's it. So again, I would mention Azure Landing Zone and the policies we created. Why it was a success story? Because now we have set a place where we can see, okay, who is in compliance with our policy, which is important for security reasons. Like, okay, these are the project and these are the resources which don't comply with our policy. Like there is some unsecure port, there is something wrong with this resource which we need to fix as per the policy we have. So now we have a place where we can go and say, okay, this is wrong and this is right, and we need to tune something. And that was a success story because rather than going blindly, creating resource in the cloud, now we have a way to control what you can create, what you can put in the infrastructure, that's it. So rather than curing something, we are preventing it from the first place. So it's a big thing for us as a company. Okay, so three most tech strategy item this year's is first is AF Patel module, second is how we do monitoring, third is to be more containerized and distributed solution, using more distributed solution rather than web apps and VMs, let's say. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is AF Patel module. So what is Patel? Patel is nothing but a infrastructure managing framework. So like Terraform existing in the world, Patel is I think biggest competitor of Terraform. And what we want to do is, like in our company, we mostly use TypeScript to write infrastructure code as managing the infrastructure. So for different department, we are using the same Patel, and now every people needs to work with Patel, import different settings to work with the project, to manage the resources. Our goal with this step strategy is to have a scripts ready, which help developer to import those settings and make their life very easy to work with project. So rather than focusing on how can I import a setting to work with that project, they can focus on what I need to build for this project. And all these scripts and settings are already there for them as part of AF module. Another cool part of this thing is like we have this as an artifact. So if there is some bug or there is something we need to change, we can release the next version and the whole company can get that version and use it. Now I will talk about the second tech strategy item that is important is monitoring. So what we want to do as part of this tech strategy right now, everyone is independent and in implementing the monitoring solutions for their project, and all of them follow what they like. We want to have a static page, a guideline, which everyone can follow, go there. Whenever the new project comes, just visit that page and decide, okay, these are the things I need for my project. And this I should avoid doing, and this I should be taken care of in my mind, like what will be the cost and how much logs I can produce. And we also want to cover tracing, metrics, and system activities, and everything as part of this document. Now, I will talk about the third thing which we want to do as tech strategy is more containerized solution and distributed solutions. So I think whole Microsoft and a lot of people are moving toward distributed and containerized solution because they are easy to manage, very cheap, and the maintenance and cost between containerized solution and actual machine or web apps is very different. So those are very cheap and easy to use. So as a backend team, we already from a long time made a decision that this will be our default. And we want to document it, put some samples there, so whenever the new project comes, people know what they need to do to make their applications run on the cloud. So they can focus on building the APIs, infrastructure is ready, they can just put that and deploy it and run it. So that's about this year.